Granblue Fantasy Relink just gave us a ton of information to look forward to. Not only did they dive deep into 1.2, they also gave us an in-depth preview of Sandalphon and 1.3. We have a lot of action to pack into this one video, so I'm not gonna waste any time, and let's get started with the most important part first. This stream was structured in a very unique way that you had to just be there to understand, but I'm gonna try my best to summarize what that feeling was. They kept hinting at this being the last stream unless something happens to give them a reason for a part 4. They also went into 1.3 way more than they should have if they had another dev stream planned. This stream, by all means, felt like a final farewell stream and tied up all the loose ends of their planned content for Granblue Fantasy Relink. The game was a massive success, but by their wording, it feels like they're asking for the community to show their appreciation for the game in order for it to have it green lit for more content. I'm gonna be working with Chaotic and a few other content creators within the community to brainstorm ways for us as a community to show that support. But if you have any ideas, feel free to put them in the comments down below. I'm gonna make a separate video dedicated to this, but for now, let's dive into Seofon. Seofon's character mechanic is gonna work similar to Catalina, where attacking fills up his avatar gauge, and once it's full, he'll be able to summon his avatar. When the avatar summon, it's gonna attack with Seofon, enhancing his skills, normal attacks, and link attacks. Seofon has an ability that takes a while to charge, but when it does, it's gonna give everyone in the party their Skybound art. That sounds insane, and I can just imagine a party with 4 Seofons chaining non-stop Skybound arts to one another. That's gonna go crazy. For now though, I'm just gonna be going over their character specific mechanics and the highlight of their kit. We're gonna be getting these characters tomorrow, and I'm gonna be able to get my hands on them, dive deep, and make a detail oriented guide for everything they have to offer. So I'm not gonna do that here, we already have a lot to cover. Make sure that you subscribe so that way you can catch that video when it's released and help me get this one to 100 likes. I really would appreciate that. But since I'm not gonna be going over it, I will have the new footage of their gameplay play as B-roll throughout this video, so that way you can get an early preview on what's to come tomorrow. Tweyen is the next character we're getting, who's gonna be a ranged character that has extreme mobility, unlike the other ranged units within the game. Her character specific mechanic revolves around her ultra insight level. When she's attacking, she's gonna be raising that level up to a max of 10. Using her unique ability, she's gonna be able to fire a multi-shot attack that's gonna fire arrows based on the level of your ultra sight. So if you have it at level 10, it's gonna fire out 10 arrows, and you're able to launch this from level 2, but most of the time you're probably gonna be saving it for level 10 anyways. Now let's get into some unique things about Tweyen. After performing a Skybound art, she's gonna get a buff that's gonna make her next attack paralyze the target. She also have abilities that will apply several debuffs, extend debuffs, so she can extend that paralyze, and then she's gonna have a damage dealing skill that's gonna scale based off of how many debuffs the enemy has. They highlighted that she plays very similar to the mobile game, so if you've played the Granblue Fantasy mobile game, you know pretty much what to expect when it comes to this character. But so far, her kit, her design, and all of her skills, along with Seofon's, look flashy as hell and look like they're gonna be extremely fun to play. But before you're able to play them, you're gonna have to unlock them, so let's get into how you do that. You can unlock both of these characters by attaining 3 Supreme Weapon Essences to trade for a special crewmate card in the Knickknack shop. You obtain these Supreme Essences by completing the 2 new quests that are going to be coming in 1.2. One is going to be an Extreme Horde wave clear, and the other is going to be a new Proud Mode boss fight. This boss fight was pulled from the mobile game, and it's the Behemoth, and Behemoth seems more similar to Pieta, I know I'm saying that wrong, but Pieta, than any of the other bosses in the game because it's quick twitchy movements. As soon as I saw this, I was like, you know, yet another boss, I can't play with Gondagoza. But you know what, hey, it's not all about me, and I'm gonna be playing Tweyen anyways, so I don't care. Who cares about Gondagoza anymore? It's gonna be a little bit of a convoluted way, so I'm gonna try and explain the way they did. By clearing these quests, that's gonna give you Revenant medallions, and you can trade those in at the Knickknack shops for weapon essences, and once you get 3, you can also trade those weapon essences in at the same Knickknack shop for the crewmate card to unlock the 2 characters. You're also going to be able to get these weapon essences as a rare drop for clearing these 2 quests, so that will allow you to bypass some of the grinding. But if you're just so unlucky you don't get anything, that's going to be your process of how to unlock it. The other alternative is that you can just buy their crewmate cards with money, and that'll also include their character specific sigil amongst a few other things. The 2 different quests are meant to give new players who haven't unlocked Proud yet a free to play option way to unlock Tweyen and Seofon, and then for the more in-game players, this method is going to be to give us more content that we can do in Proud to challenge us and give us things to fight with these new units. Tweyen and Seofon will also introduce new content for the actual main story with their fate quests, so make sure that when you're clearing these, you're actually reading what they say. Both characters won't have terminus weapons, so to make up for it, they gave us 2 weapon options, one being a defensive option and the other being ascended weapon that have traits attached to them. They're gonna make up for these weapons not having catastrophe by having it attached to sigils, and I believe it's gonna be on their character sigil. And so I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm glad I didn't do it, but I know some people out there are gonna be pissed because they grinded all of the terminus weapons, so that way when these 2 units got here, they would be easy to unlock their terminus weapon. You just have to grind it for 2 more characters. I wish they would have told us this ahead of time to save you guys from like wasting your time, but I guess you have it now if you want to play with other characters. Another highlight of this dev stream though is that we're going to be getting a ton of new sigils. They're introducing 3 new sigils, and these are them and 19 more character unique sigils. 2/3 of these sigils are canceled out by the catastrophe trait, but I do expect the new character to sigils to have some type of relevancy, and maybe they're giving us these defensive sigils because this behemoth boss is about to be another level and we're gonna have to work with our ascended weapon as opposed to our terminus weapon. I doubt it, but that is a possibility. They've also answered the request that we are all making and finally gave us a way to bulk transmute things so that way we're not having to do it one at a time. In addition to that, there will also be a paid DLC with emotes and comes with gold color packs. In the stream, they stated that they're going to be focusing on buffing characters that feel clunky or inconvenient. So please, for the love of God, buff Grandagoza. Please, we need this. No one is playing them but me, and I need to have some type of viability when it comes to these raids. I haven't seen them, but you know what? They said they're gonna post them, so let's go ahead and see if they're available. Okay, so they just posted them here. I'll have this linked in the description down below for you to check out. I believe this new content and everything else are just things that I've already recapped in the video. And so, hey, fuck it, you know what I'm here for. What did they change on my boy Grandagoza? Okay, all these other characters, fuck that. You guys can read this, I'll have it linked, check it out yourself. I need to see what they did to my boy. Wait. We can't catch a fucking break, man. You know, I don't even care. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm playing Tweyen. This is bullshit. I took a chill pill, took a quick break, and now it's time to get into 1.3, what most of you guys are probably here for. And this update is going to be coming in late May and will include Sandalphon. We got a more in-depth preview that I'll also be playing along this video, similar to how I did with Tweyen and Seofon earlier. His character-specific mechanic revolves around timing your attacks, and that's also going to allow you to deal enhanced damage. It's going to be very similar to Siegfried. Landing these perfect strikes are going to fill up your Archangel gauge, along with the slower option to just charge it by holding your character unique ability. Once this gauge is maxed out, you can activate your Supreme Primarch mode, and in this mode, you're no longer going to have to worry about timing your attacks, and you also get unique skills and a new Skybound art that's going to deal more damage. By clicking your character unique ability, you're going to be able to sidestep, similar to Lancelot, and this is going to be used mainly to reposition yourself. Unlocking him will require a different method than Tweyen and Seofon, so don't go overboard farming like thinking that you're going to be preparing to get Sandalphon easier when he gets here. It's going to be an entirely new system. Some sharp eyes caught it in the trailer, but they did show it looks to be a new animation in the Lucilius fight, so maybe there is going to be some type of interaction with that. Aside from Sandalphon, here's everything else you can expect in 1.3. New Proud Mode quests and combining sigil traits seem to be the 2 highlights for me. New bosses are something that I've been begging for, and I'm happy to see that quest word right there, that's plural. And the combining the sigil traits may give us unique ways to like have different builds that don't just involve running damage cap plus sigils. We can actually combine them onto sigils that we choose, so that way we can design and craft the perfect build for us to play these new Proud Mode quests. That's going to cover everything we can expect in the next 2 months, but if you're looking for more anime style games, I'll have a video linked right here going into the best action JRPGs you can find in 2024. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.